It was a morning like any other, yet everything felt different. The air was crisp, carrying with it the anticipation of change. I woke up early, the sunlight creeping through my window, casting a soft glow on the walls. But inside, my heart was in turmoil. Today, I was faced with a decision that would challenge everything I had known about myself. For years, I had lived in the shadow of fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of being judged. It had become my constant companion, holding me back from pursuing my dreams and passions. I had convinced myself that the safety of my comfort zone was the only place where I could survive. But deep down, I knew it was suffocating me, slowly draining me of my potential. The opportunity that lay before me was one I had dreamed of for years. A chance to speak in front of a large audience, to share my story, to show the world who I truly was. But that nagging voice in my head kept whispering, "You're not good enough. You'll embarrass yourself. What if they don't like you?" The fear seemed insurmountable, a mountain that loomed too high to climb. I paced the room, my mind racing. The more I thought about it, the heavier the fear became. I was on the edge, ready to back out, to let the fear win once again. But then something inside me shifted. I realized that if I didn't face this fear now, I would never truly live. I had spent too much of my life avoiding risks, avoiding the possibility of failure, and in doing so, I had failed to see that true growth lies just beyond the point of discomfort. I took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. This was the moment where I could choose something different. I could choose courage. I stood in front of the mirror and looked at myself, forcing a smile. It wasn't easy. But I knew this was my chance to prove to myself that I was capable of so much more than I had ever believed. The fear was still there, but I refused to let it dictate my actions any longer. With each step I took toward the stage, my heartbeat quickened, but so did my resolve. The audience, waiting for me to speak, felt less like a sea of judgment and more like an opportunity to connect, to be seen for who I truly was. My hands were trembling, but my voice, though shaky at first, grew steadier with each word. I spoke about my journey, about the battles I had fought within myself. I shared my fears, my failures, and the lessons I had learned along the way. And in that moment, something incredible happened. The fear that had once held me captive faded into the background. It was no longer the driving force in my life. I had taken its power away by choosing courage instead. When I finished, the room erupted in applause. But the applause was not what mattered most. What mattered was the realization that I had broken free. I had chosen courage over fear, and in doing so, I had unlocked a new version of myself. A version that was no longer afraid to take risks, to fail, and to rise again. That day, I learned that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to act despite it. And in choosing courage, I not only found freedom, but I also found the strength to live a life true to who I am, rather than who fear wanted me to be.